James Madison is a new team in the Sun Belt, and they're known for their upset win over Virginia Tech. We were ranked 113th in the nation, so success would be very hard to achieve, but we started our season playing against North Dakota State, and even though they're the best FCS school, this was our greatest chance to win a game. Senior running back AJ Davis got us on the board first, but after junior cornerback Devin Coles dropped this easy interception, the Bisons got within 3. On the next drive, senior quarterback Todd Centeio underthrew the ball, but despite only being 5'8", Chris Thompson was able to come down with it. Our best 4 receivers were all seniors, so that was going to have to be our biggest focus for our first recruiting class. By the start of the fourth quarter, we were up 2 possessions, but then our defense gave up a touchdown, except he didn't get a foot in bounds, so they just took 3. And we needed to figure out how to finish this game and get the win. The triple option with a pitch to senior receiver Kobe White worked well, and he was single-handedly taking us all the way down the field. He caught this touchdown to give us a 2-possession lead, and that was enough to get us our first win. The Dukes weren't ready for number 2 Alabama, and it showed on their first drive. We simply agreed to play here because of the paycheck, and it reminded us that we weren't ready for this level of competition. I honestly just wanted Sun Belt Conference play to start, but after Bryce Young railed us, we traveled to Blacksburg. And I was hoping history would repeat itself. If we could pull off the upset again, that would truly be iconic. By the start of the second quarter, nobody was able to get on the board, but Todd Centeio was able to end the scoring drought just seconds later. Unfortunately, Ben Locklear rushed into the end zone right before halftime, and they kicked 3 to start the third. Despite having a huge side disadvantage, our defense was playing amazing, but our offense was just not able to get it going. With under 4 minutes left in the game, Jalen Holston took the ball into the end zone untouched, and it was one time I wish my boys would just get on top of the other guys as fast as they could. Anyway, on 4th and 20, we had one chance to stay in the game, but Centeio was picked off, and we left Blacksburg with an L. I was recruiting a ton of studs, and QB Mark Fuller was the best one. We needed him at quarterback next season, but it was time for the start of conference play. If Todd Centeio could hold on to the ball, this would be a great start to the game, but he couldn't, so instead, we went down 3 to Texas State. With about a minute left in the half, we were still losing, but that wouldn't be for long as Todd Centeio made an amazing play to find Chris Thornton in the end zone. However, Brady McBride led his team all the way down for 7 right after. That didn't matter though, as Devin Ravenel made this catch in the third quarter and Kobe White made this catch in the fourth. With 4 minutes left in the game, it looked like we were actually going to win, but all of a sudden, Calvin Hill was in the end zone and Todd Centeio wasn't able to get the ball out of his hands on 3rd down, so our fate was in the hands of our defense, and all we needed was a stop on 4th down, but Brady McBride had a million seconds in the pocket, and we gave up the big play. Luckily, we still had a chance to end it, but our corners had butterfingers, so they tied the game. With 5 seconds left, we were at the 40, so we took a quick slant, and kicker Camden Wise went for the win, but it was short, so it was time for overtime. And we gave up 7 like it was nothing. Then, Todd Centeio sat in the pocket like a deer in the road and put us in a bad position, so on 4th and 19, we had almost no chance of picking it up, and we didn't. We had collapsed in front of our fans, and we were in trouble the following week. We were playing at number 1 Oklahoma, and this was the worst start I had ever seen. Fortunately, Taylor Gabriel was absolutely horrible, and our crappy defense was shutting him down. The best highlight of the game was when we pinned Oklahoma back with this punt, but the good feeling lasted just a second as Taylor Gabriel realized he was playing against a bunch of scrubs. He literally ascended to a whole other level of play after that punt, and I don't know why. His teammate Marvin Mims caught this 33-yard touchdown on us, and after, I got ballsy and went for it on 4th down for no reason. We found ourselves falling farther away from any chance of beating the Sooners, but not all hope was lost. Todd Centeio started off the second half finding stud receiver Kobe White on this amazing throw, and our defense was honestly playing really well. It was a miracle to only be down 2 possessions at Oklahoma, and then the collapse happened. Unfortunately, the Sooners decided they were going to actually start trying, and you can imagine that didn't go very well for us. I knew we were in trouble when Louisiana scored this touchdown to start the game, but we were back in it when Todd Centeio hooked up with Devin Ravenel. Unfortunately, tight end Drew Painter forgot how to block his man, so we took a safety, and after that, they took 3. We had a chance to go down and tie the game before halftime, and after Todd Centeio threw a dot to wide open Kobe White, we had a decent chance of actually making it happen. Chris Thornton was able to make this catch with 10 seconds left in the half, but the 2-point conversion didn't go as planned, so we went into the half down 2. Midway through the third quarter, I decided Todd Centeio must have bet on the Louisiana money line because he threw this terrible interception. The Raging Cajuns would take it all the way back to the house for 6, which would give them a 9-point lead, and from there, we would take our second safety of the game and give up a long touchdown to the fat version of Brian Lumpkin. The second half definitely didn't go how anybody thought it would, and we were sitting at 1-5. But this was the best possible start we could have had as Todd Centeio connected with Kobe White on the opening drive. And then a few minutes later, he escaped the pressure and found freshman receiver Troy Lewis, but he couldn't hold on to it. To start the second quarter, DJ Mack threw the ball straight to Devin Coles, and it seemed like everything was going our way. By the start of the fourth quarter, we still had a lead, but we needed to score, so that's exactly what we did, with Kobe White catching this touchdown pass with 4 minutes left in the game. But Old Dominion went down and got 7 immediately, so we needed to run out the clock, and then Todd Centeio did the most clueless thing ever. He gave the ball straight to the other team, and we were now losing. If any of the other QBs were any good, he would be subbed out immediately, but he was somehow the best we had, and then the game completely glitched. Somehow this incomplete pass turned into a fumble and a 10-yard loss. Nothing was going our way. Even Chris Thornton fumbled this ball, but luckily we picked it up and we took our lead back with 30 seconds left. So all we had to do was stop Old Dominion and our defense got it done. We escaped with the massive win, and then we took on the best team in our division. Appalachian State was undefeated in conference play, so this would be a tough game. But on the last play of the first quarter, Terrence Green put us ahead with this catch. However, 30 seconds before halftime, our defense finally gave up a touchdown and we went into the half down 3. James Madison still had a chance at a bowl game, but we would have to win 4 of our last 5 games, so it was crucial that we scored on our opening drive of the half. But instead, Todd Centeio threw the ball straight to the Mountaineers. However, we got a safety to start the fourth quarter, and we were trying to move the ball, so after Kobe White got this huge catch for us on 3rd and 20, we went for it on 4th and 1, but Noah Turner dropped it. After we gave up another touchdown, Centeio threw this terrible interception, but our defense held them to 3, so we had a sliver of hope with less than a minute left in the game. But in the end, Centeio had to throw up a jump ball to Kobe White because there was no time left, and he finished the game with 5 interceptions. This was the most important game of the year because we had all of these recruits visiting, and not only did we have to win, but we also needed Todd Centeio to throw for at least 250 yards. Even though Coastal Carolina scored first, we were able to tie it up, and we were moving the ball down the field with 2 minutes left in the half. A win today would almost guarantee that we had a good starting quarterback next year, and even though this play was originally ruled out of bounds, the refs gave us the touchdown. Unfortunately, with 20 seconds left in the half, Grayson McCall led his team down the field to tie the game, and then we fell behind at the end of the 3rd quarter. But this was our first year playing FBS football, so we weren't supposed to be good. Devin Ravenel did put us in great field positioning though with this kickoff return, and a few plays later, Kobe White pulled off this amazing move and took us all the way down to the 6-yard line. From there, we would tie the game, and then our defense got a massive stop, so we had a chance to win it. The plan was just to run down the clock and kick a field goal, but Todd Centeio had to get over 250 passing yards first. After AJ Davis ran it in one last time, kicker Camden Wise won us the game, and a bunch of players committed to the school after our amazing performance, but we were playing Georgia Southern, and if we lost this game, we wouldn't be bowl eligible, so we had to play exceptionally well. Despite us starting the game off with a touchdown to Reggie Brown, Georgia Southern responded right back. And even though they scored again after that, Todd Centeio tied it up for us with a minute left in the half. By the 4th quarter, it was a back and forth game, but on 4th and 7, we went for it and Drew Painter came up clutch. Right after that, AJ Davis ran it in for us, but Georgia Southern responded with a field goal, so we had to pick up this 4th down to stay in it, but Todd Centeio couldn't get the pass off, and we left the game losers. There were 2 games left in our season, but all we were playing for at this point was pride. Even though Georgia State had a decent lead, Kobe White didn't want to end his senior year on a bad note, and he single-handedly got us back into it. With a minute and a half left, we got within 3, but we couldn't stop the Panthers' running game, so we became 3-8. But we had one last chance to win a game. Even though we had already overachieved for our first year, I wanted to go out with a bang and pick up another win against Marshall. But that was going to be really hard to do. The Thundering Herds offense was coming alive in the 4th quarter, and there was nothing we could do in response to that, so we finished the year 3-9. This was it for Todd Centeio, and our top 6 receiving options were all seniors. Travion Henderson won the Heisman, and the college football playoffs were set. Auburn beat Clemson and USC beat Ohio State. The Trojans won the national championship, and we were ready for season number 2.